Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Perez and today I'll be talking about King Tutankhamun. King Tutankhamun, otherwise known as King Tut, is one of the most well-known pharaohs that had ever lived. He became so popular because he was one of the only pharaohs to have discovered in an intact tomb. That may be the only thing people know about him. Today I will be talking about King Tut's upbringing as well as his burial and tomb. Lastly, I will be explaining the mark he left on archaeologists and the world. King Tutankhamun began his rule in 1333 BCE when the kings before him had died, who was believed to be Smenkhar. The young king was believed to have been only 9 years old when his reign began. Many referred to him as the Boy King. His name was Tutankhaten. Later he changed it to Tutankhamun, meaning the living image of Amun, the god of the sun. Third daughter, who is believed to have been Tutankhamun's half-sister. His father ruled under the belief in monotheism. This practice was very different from how King Tutankhamun ruled. He focused more on religious transition than anything else. For example, he wanted to move to Thebes to restore older religious sites. The kingdom that he ruled had struggled because of the lack of focus on foreign affairs. King Tutankhamun began his rule in 1333 BCE when the king before him had died, who was believed to be Smenkhar. The young king was believed to have been only 9 years old. King Tut was buried in a tomb that was located in the Valley of Kings. King Tutankhamun was buried with many treasures, such as a gold throne, fans, and golden figures. Scott Fetzer states that the head and shoulders of King Tut's mummy were covered by a carefully crafted mask of pure gold. It's believed that after he died, the next king to have ruled was Horemheb, who was King Tut's general while he was king. Archaeologists have been fascinated with the young king's tomb. His tomb was the only burial site of an ancient Egyptian royal that was still intact. Many great mysteries of Tutankhamun have been uncovered. They have discovered the lifestyle of the young king from his remains and the treasures he was buried with. According to Gloria Fierro, Tutankhamun's tomb was one of the few royal graves to have escaped vandalism, meaning there were thieves stealing treasures from the king's grave. The discovery of his tomb was in the 20th century by an English archaeologist named Howard Carter. It states that Howard Carter had said the chambers were difficult to work in because they packed with fragile things. What surrounded the coffin was stacked upon each other, making it hard to move around. To this day, people visit the Valley of Kings and can witness the tombs of many ancient Egyptian royals. Archaeologists were able to do CT scans of King Tutankhamun's mummified body and were able to use forensic scanning to predict how the young king may have looked like while he was alive. The life, death, and tomb of King Tutankhamun has always fascinated the world. His tomb was the only burial site intact and helped to make so many discoveries. Since the tomb's historical discovery in the 1920s, archaeologists learned how ancient kings of Egypt lived and were buried in the ancient times. Tutankhamun was thought to have been the youngest ruler of ancient Egypt with such a short reign. With his beliefs different than the rulers before him, he changed the kingdom he ruled.